I think especially in South American countries, when it comes to Jamaica, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic,
Mhm.
so this all countries, what I feel is they have a tremendous advantage because, especially for Americans, small and mid-sized companies, not the large ones, but the small and mid-sized
Mhm.
companies, it can be a cost advantage. The second thing is very near shore. They don't have to their
Mhm.
their CXOs and their decision makers don't have to travel all the way to Asian countries, and Asian countries have basically it has become a competitive market because almost for the last 20 years companies are reaping the benefits of offshoring and taking advantage of countries like India and Philippines. But
Mhm.
that South American countries have a tremendous advantage, and especially all the business owners like you who have come from South American countries and they are trying to set up
Mhm.
their business in the United States is a great advantage because you can have your marketing office in the US, in the States, and you
Mhm.
can have your operations center in your home country.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So let's get down to business. So what I did, I started a virtual call center,
Okay.
and it's more like a call center and also staffing because I help other businesses to find people to work.
Sure, sure.
But that part is doing great because people come to me. But as for the call center aspect, it's not that easy to find
Clients.
contracts, or we
Clients,
call it
yes.
clients. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not that easy. So I need to be schooled and my approach, what I need to do
Sure, sure.
to to yeah, get some clients.
Absolutely, absolutely. Right, right.
So yeah. So to be honest with you, you're the only person that I've met so far on YouTube that actually, explain stuff to
Right, 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 right.
because I was looking at the one, I was very impressed with the one with the young man. I think he was from Texas.
Yes, yes, that's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
and yeah, I watched that one, and that's what when I'm like, I need to call this guy. I need to because and I seen you were talking to another guy. I think he was from India, but to be honest with you, I couldn't really. I understood what you were saying, but I couldn't understand his question because his accent was a little bit, too
Got
much.
got
So
it,
yeah,
got it. So then currently how you are, I mean, you have you said the current structure or the business structure that you have is all work from home, right? That's the one.
yes, it is.
And then, so the existing clients that you have, are you getting it from Arise, like the platforms like Arise and all?
I am signed up with Arise, but a lot of what I've seen, I've had a lot of people who I interview, and a lot of people call me in reference to. But you know what you think is the main factor that they don't want to go? The thing that they have a cost for them to sign up to do the classes.
True.
I myself, I worked with Arise maybe for 3 years, a long time ago when they first started out.
Right,
Back then, you didn't have for anything,
right,
but they have
right,
changed. They have changed because a lot of people will sign up for these classes and they never go through with them. So they were losing money. So they changed.
right,
But
right,
now you got to pay. So a lot of people they look at it as, why should I pay to get a job? I don't have a job and you want me to pay to take these classes, and these classes are too long. I have to wait for you know a month or two before I could get paid and da 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 da. So that's where I'm getting to struggle with that.
sure,
Getting it
sure.
across to them. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally believe. Had couple of calls even before that. People have gone through options like even and I feel that you get very lower margins in the business, and I don't know to what extent it's a sustainable way of doing it. Where
Hmm.
where is in case if you get clients, and what are your future plans, like where you're planning to set up your operations in the United States or some other country where which is your home country or
I'm actually from Jamaica,
Jamaica? Okay.
and I was thinking about doing that also in the United States. Yeah, I'm actually from Jamaica, but I wanted to start right here first and see what it's like before I try to do go to Jamaica to do anything.
Yeah, I feel I think in especially in South American countries when it comes to Jamaica, Costa Rica, Dominican
Hmm.
Republic. So this all countries, what I feel is they have a tremendous advantage because, especially for American small and mid-sized companies, not the large ones, but the small and mid-sized
Mhm.
companies, it can be a cost advantage. The second thing is very near shore. They don't have to
Mhm.
their CXOs and their decision makers don't have to travel all the way to Asian countries, and Asian countries have basically it has become a competitive market because almost for the last 20 years companies are reaping the benefits of offshoring and taking advantage of countries like India and Philippines. But
Mhm.
my honest and pure inputs are that South American countries have a tremendous advantage, and especially all the business owners like you who have come from South American countries and they are trying to set up
Mhm.
their business in the United States is a great advantage because you can have your marketing office in the US in the States, and you
Mhm.
can have your operations center in your home country. it's
Okay.
it's
Okay.
it's easy to travel, it's convenient, it's nearby compared to Asia or any other geographical
Yeah.
destinations. That's one part. Second part is I feel this pandemic, I think, is a great time. I look at it as an opportunity, not as a problem, because in this time the companies would want to save their payroll, they would want to save the cost on their payroll and overhead expenses, because
Mhm.
in the states, we all know that the cost of living or even the cost of expenses for even for the businesses, they are really high.
Yeah.
In some states are, in fact, they are really higher. States like California, New York, they are very very high. So if they get this advantage of having their talent, it could be anything, which is from data processing, account reconciliation, uh, customer service, then collection calls, sales, upselling, and inbound and outbound sales, or to some
Mhm.
extent, it could be some software development or software maintenance as well. So I think they would definitely love to consider this as an option. However,
Okay.
I think if the service providers or if the companies or owners like you, if they're having hard time in getting clients on board, the only reason I feel is a gap between reaching to this demand with the supply. There is only a gap that I see. There is no any other reason. Um,
Mhm.
and how you can fulfill this gap is the simplest solution that I feel, because you can't sit and you can't make literally 1,000 calls every single day and make people aware
Mhm.
that this is my business and this is what I offer. It's very difficult. It's not effective. And companies doesn't respond to your, they don't welcome cold calling. That's not the way.
Yeah.
When it comes to cold calling, it's not ideal.
Mhm.
I have always suggested in my videos, I don't know, it's very hard to implement for business owners, but it's a magic. I mean, it does work if you literally start. There are two ways that you do. One is start generating appointments through your CRM setup and your email sequence. You have to upload a huge database into your CRM. It could be in 100,000, 200,000 company owners in the entire US, small and mid-sized sector or small and mid-sized companies, and start generating appointments through email sequence. When I say email sequence, it's just to make it simpler. You may be aware, but I'm explaining it to you. The system starts sending emails to
Mhm.
them that I have a company, I do this, these are my unique solutions. Can we have a quick phone call meeting? So it sends it today, and then after 4 days, and after 4 days. So for it, I'll sends it for 3 to 4 times. That's the automation that we set it, or the workflows that we set it into a CRM system, and then the system does the job, and then it gives you ready appointments to speak with people and present your business, because that makes your job easy. That's one part.
Okay. Mhm.
That's a CRM which does this for you. Lot of companies don't even use CRM. They still use Excel sheets and maybe some notebooks and diaries. So I always recommend, one thing is that automate your sales and start generating appointments through CRM. That's one part. Second, it's hard to implement. It doesn't sound really effective immediately. Is There is no option in 2020 that any small or mid-sized businesses, if they are not online on any social media platforms, if you're not present, if you're not talking about your business, You can't sell. I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
cannot have the advantage of selling, and people will not know because nowadays the companies doesn't watch even TV commercials. The people, they don't watch even TV commercials.
Yeah.
When we have the TV commercial, we just forward it to the next one, or we go back to our cell phones.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're true. That's
But
true.
people do watch their mobile phones or the cell phones. They make sure that they check Instagram, they check Facebook, they check LinkedIn, they check Twitter at least one or
Mm-hmm.
2 hours in a day. When you are sitting in a car, when you are when you're doing some shopping, you do anything, but you make it sure that you are on social media. So
Yeah.
if your clients, the future clients, if your prospects, if they're there, then you have to be there. If you're not there, then how people will get to know about your services? So and the
Let me interject with what you're saying about social media, because my website is still in the process of completing, and I'm adding everything that you're saying. I'm doing all of that, but
sure,
I'm just going to give you a little story
sure,
because I didn't have a website up, and I decided I started this, so I want to go ahead and start getting people to start working for me because I had a contract. I had my brother-in-law; he works with this firm, so that's how I got the contract for the fumigation
sure,
company.
sure,
And I'm like, how am I gonna get people to me? Because right now I don't have a website and I need, guess what I did? I made a flyer. I went on Word and I made a flyer.
okay,
And on the flyer, I put, the information looking for people. I'm like with good background, da 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 da. I put it on my Facebook. My daughter put it on her Instagram, her Snapchat, or everything. My sister, about five of us did that. Within that one day, we had so many feedback, so many calls till I had to the phone because I told you I have a regular job.
right,
So I
right.
work from home, kept on calling the business line. And what I had to do now, I'm like, this is interrupting me. So I had to set up a message on the phone to say, okay, if you're calling in reference to the job, basically just send me an email, send me an email with your resume, da da da, and we'll get back to you. And that's how I got everybody. And I was so surprised. I'm like, I just did it. I just did it out of the blue. I'm like, let me do this. And that's how I got all the people that's working for me right now, just by
That's
just showing the little flyer.
exactly, exactly. I mean, that's the way that you created some presence, and you have seen the results when it comes to talent acquisition or recruitment. It's the same thing
Yeah.
what works. However, there is little difference when it comes to talent acquisition or when you're recruiting people. They are more like there is more supply than the demand. So there are
Mhm.
less jobs available, but there is more supply. There are a lot of people available who are looking for such jobs. So they are going to, just by even a flyer, they are going to contact you. But that is not going to be the case
Yeah,
when you are searching for clients, because
for clients, it's different.
it is
Yeah.
exactly the reverse situation. There is more demand. You're looking for clients, and there are a lot of companies, startup companies around the world. They are looking for clients based in Canada, US, Europe, and they're looking for such
Hmm.
clients. So there is more demand but less supply. That means the very few companies are looking to outsource their work to some other locations and countries. So in that case, your only one flyer is not going to make any difference. It's going to be like a drop in the ocean. So
Hmm. Hmm.
you have to make sure that and it applies to any business rather. You have to make sure that you are doing consistent efforts in creating content and educating your prospects about your services, your solutions, and you're talking about your company a lot. So it should be I would say, companies like you should have a regular disciplined efforts of coming online every single day without fail. I mean, it should be every single day at a particular time. It could be 7 or 8 in the morning EST, that you come online for 2 minutes. Your video comes, and video makes really great magic than the blogging and texting. So I would always say that it should be in the video form, and it should be on this, especially on these platforms of YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. At least four platforms you should be using, and you should be talking about your
Hmm.
business, the advantages, what advantages you give, what are your unique selling propositions, for the clients, what are your pricings, what are your services, how it benefits them. So all those things you should be talking about, your company.
Okay, that's a good point.
So in the beginning,
I'm taking notes while you.
sure. So in the beginning, it could also be difficult that, sometimes it's difficult that, okay, I'm ready to do it, but how would I do it? So I will say that when you are beginning or when you are starting with this journey, I will suggest you that you can even start with FAQs, frequently asked questions by your prospects. So if you imagine that,
Mhm,
your prospects would ask, why should I outsource? What are the advantages I get? What are the pricings? Why I should choose Jamaica, but why not any other country? But why should only Jamaica?
mhm,
So these are typical
mhm.
questions that they're going to ask, and then if the more content that you start making it in the in the relevant platforms like LinkedIn, there is a lot of organic traction. People start watching it and they start inquiring it. I think the best example that I have it here is I did not send you any email, I did not send you any, or I did not make a phone call, but you found me somewhere
No,
on
you did not.
internet. Yeah, you found me on internet, and that's the way we are on this call.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's the important advice that I will have. Yes.
That's good. That's some good points. I really appreciate you taking your time, your time out to speak with me. And it's not like you're stretching your hands out to not now pay me. I gave you some advice and I
No problem.
appreciate it, really. And you've done a lot. And I pass it on your video. I told a lot of people that I know to watch. I'm like, go ahead and watch this guy. How do you pronounce your name anyway? Because
um um
maybe I'm pronouncing it.
Ameya Ameya
Ameya.
Ameya
Okay. All right. My
Amey.
daughter's
Well, I think you brought forward very important point here. So I really like this one point, is that it's important when you're making any videos, any content, anything that you're mentioning it there. It should never have any self-centric approach. That means that I'm looking for clients, I'm looking for this. It should be in the way that I'm trying to help you. So even if it's your
yeah.
clients or prospects, your entire approach and your thinking should be how you are able to help them, how you are able to cut
Yeah.
their costs, how you are able to add value to their business. It should never be in
Mhm.
even in the background also, it should not be in such a way that how I can make more money or revenue for my business. So
Business is about. Yeah.
once we shift that thought process, I think the clients will come on way, and they will start looking for your services. They would love your approach.
Okay, back to your first, but when you spoke about the CRM with the email,
Yes.
is okay, because is the CRM, is it a service that I would need, or is it what is that? Explain the CRM to me,
Sure,
that part.
sure, sure. So, for example, CRM is basically customer relationship management. That's the long form
Hmm.
of it. CRM stands for customer relationship management, and this is typically a software. There are
Yeah.
various softwares when it comes to especially sales or business development. CRM
Hmm.
works as a magic that actually makes, it works like an engine of sales. So it starts driving sales. CRM helps
Hmm.
you to update entire database of your prospects. It could be in thousands and 5,000s and 100,000, and then from there you actually start converting it. You start setting up the entire automations to automate your sales process. So even when you are driving, once you have everything set up, it's automated, and you actually start getting the appointments of your prospects. So the prospects will start calling you that, I received so and so email, and you have been pretty consistent in your efforts in sending it, so can we have an appointment? So usually that's how it works. So
Because I've seen a few people reach out to me about this, but I never really stopped to think, because you have all these people coming out and sending you all kind of crazy stuff, and I don't know who is who and what is what. I also heard you spoke about something that you call, I think it's, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it the right way, Zoho,
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 yes.
Zoho.
Zoho, yes.
Yeah. Mhm.
Well, there are a lot of
Yeah.
CRM options. I mean, if I'll make a list of it, there are a number of CRMs. You can have Microsoft, or you can have Salesforce. You have Sugar CRM. There are a lot of CRM options there. But for startup businesses, I don't recommend something which is cost burden on them. Which you don't need some fancy
Mhm.
stuff in the beginning. You want to make it something
Yeah.
simple and which is user friendly and which is cost effective. So that is why Zoho is good. If you want to start something with really free, completely free with no pricing, then you can consider HubSpot. HUB Spot. HubSpot.
Which one?
H
What?
U.
Which
Yeah,
one that
it's
is?
HubSpot. Yeah, H.
HUB.
Yeah, H for Henry, U for umbrella,
Mm-hmm.
B for Bravo. HubSpot. That's the free one, but it
Mm-hmm.
you can upload the database and you can start using it just to get a hang of it. But once you start making automations and once you need email automations and all, they are also going to charge you. So that will also have a pricing.
It
So
also has a price, but you say
yes.
The Zoho would be more. It's not. It's price efficient.
Well, it's quite easy to set up. If you need help in that, even I can help you. For any
Mhm.
CRMs, basically, it's not Zoho. I don't recommend Zoho because of any benefits or any interest that we have. It's basically I
Mhm.
experience a lot of CRMs and I felt that for startup businesses Zoho is the easiest one. But as I mentioned that you have free option of HubSpot, but once you start with automations and all those things, once you need it, you are going to need something really good one. And then once you start with a huge database, it's also difficult to migrate that entire database into different CRM. So why not to use it something good from the beginning?
Started.
If you're getting some response from the manual way, then the CRM will be definitely helpful for you because that's going to automate and
Yeah.
multiply your efforts. So instead of hiring people,
Mhm.
sales people, just by setting up the entire system, you can start getting the results within, ideally speaking, it's around within 60 days you can see a really great results because you start getting a lot of appointments set up and all. But you have to make sure that you keep
Mhm.
uploading a lot of database over there. So if you go to some conferences, if you go to some seminars and all that, make sure you collect your business
Yeah.
cards and everything and make sure you keep updating it there. Or you can also buy the ready
Yeah.
database, but that's again a cost on your business. So you can also buy a ready database from some of the websites I have already suggested, like
Mhm.
DNB Hoover. That's a good one. Or Lead 411, that's the another one. So you can buy a database from those websites as well.
You say lead 411.
Yes, Lead 411 or D and B Hoover is D as in Delta, B as in Bravo.
Mhm.
So D and B
Mhm.
Hoover, HOOVER, Hoover.
Okay.
So it will give you basically, the database of all the company owners in particular industry or particular region, and then you can upload it onto your CRM, and then that's the CRM automation will help you to set up appointments. So you can focus on
Mhm.
your own daily activities, what you're doing, instead of getting into all this juggling around with
Yeah.
all this
Yeah.
missing.
Yeah.
And then just attend 5 or 10 calls a day, and that's it. So you start seeing the conversions out of it. So you actually see the conversions that,
Yeah.
out of 100 calls, if you attend, at least 2 or 3 people would be really serious to outsource some functions to
Yeah.
your business. Yes.